Hey guys, I hope you are all well and enjoying this beautiful December season. So it's Vlogmas day 2 and I want us to discuss accommodation during Christmas or during New Year, but this whole festive season. So the reason as to why I thought of it being important to discuss about accommodation is because I have worked in the accommodation business and specifically hotel. And I know the challenges, the pros and cons generally. And I have also been hosted and I have hosted people during Christmas or the Christmas season. So sometimes I think there are some things we don't really take seriously, but they are very, very important. And the importance comes in if it has to do with your comfort, if it has to do with how okay you are with certain things, because especially here in Africa, my friend, you will be shocked. Some of the times you will be hosted by people and you will be left wondering why you went to be hosted in the first place. But also, looking at the other side, maybe you don't have enough money to be at a hotel or an Airbnb or such like things, so now you are confused and you still want to enjoy your Christmas holiday like the other people. So that is why we are discussing today's topic, which is accommodation. There are some of the things I would like to point out that concern accommodation when you are being hosted, because those are basically the two options. You're either going to be hosted by friends or family, or the second thing is that you're going to quote unquote buy accommodation or get your accommodation where you pay for a room or a house or something. So these are the two options that you have, and I'm going to discuss being hosted first of all, because I think that is usually the cheapest version, or what we have a lot like in general. Of course I will discuss this in another video on like in details, but for this first video I want us to talk about being hosted. So the first thing that you have to know is that yes, you're not paying for the accommodation, but there are things you're going to pay for in one way or another. I know sometimes it may seem very, very harsh to many of us who are not used to hearing this kind of a truth, but you will pay for it in one way or another. For example, you have to do shopping, you have to like chip in. When something comes up, you have to chip in. So it's not exactly free. But I think people are different. Some people maybe will tell you you don't have to chip in, especially if they have enjoyed accommodation from you before. But just know that it's not free. You're being hosted, but it's not for free. And the second good thing about it is that you spend time with family. So those are the major two advantages. So here you are, you have been hosted and you have you are spending time with family and friends, but what are you supposed to do in return? Of course, there are very, very many things, but today we are not discussing those things. I am just telling you what I think. These are actually my opinions on being hosted and also buying accommodation. So this brings us to the second point. Buying accommodation. This is either getting a room where you stay with your partner or just yourself if you're doing a solo travel. And then if you maybe want to get something for a bigger family, you can get a cottage, you can get either Airbnb or hotel where you have maybe full board, half board, or just bed and breakfast. So those are the things that you are going to encounter when you're buying accommodation. But you have to choose wisely, because it depends majorly on who you are and what you like. Maybe you are a person like me who just wants to go and relax, or sometimes you want to cook for yourself because you feel it's cheaper. So it depends on your budget mostly, but also it also depends on who you are and what you have at hand. For me, honestly speaking, I would prefer by all means to be at an accommodation, like just to buy accommodation. It's not like I don't want to stay with family and friends. I really like it, but I would prefer when you are accommodating yourself, because there are different things you will encounter. You know, the best thing about like just buying accommodation is that you have paid for it. So one, you don't want to be treated in a way that you don't like. And if somebody treats you like so, you are free to leave or even to report to the management or something. But when it comes to being hosted, you have to live with it and just persevere. more or less, because that is persevering. So for me, I prefer buying accommodation because I'm going to be free, first of all. And the other thing is that when I want to like shop, I will shop for myself, I will shop for my family, and that is it. Another thing is that you don't overwork, because sometimes when you go to family or friends, you are going to be working, so it's not really like a vacation. And sometimes that's why I call these ones mini trips or something. You cannot call it a vacation, because vacation you want mostly to just relax, but this one you are not specifically relaxing. So those are my 2 cents on accommodation, and I just feel it's important for you to buy accommodation. Save up for it if you don't have money before. Start saving from January or from whatever time, so that you can avoid the menace of being hosted sometimes. But if you want to spend time with your family, it is okay, and it's completely okay even to get a house just around your family or friends, so that you can just be going to say hi to them. So that winds up our Vlogmas day 3.